Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Monday afternoon, November 9th. We are looking at the SPY ETF's market profile here on Window Trader. And no doubt the market was stretched out, and no doubt you would think they were a little tired. But I will not admit, because I didn't think so, that we would take back as much of the gap as we did in M period and throughout the day, but especially what just transpired in M period. We had a gap. Now remember, we have a weekly gap, that's here, Thursday's high, and a daily gap, Friday's high. They were over 12 or 1,300 ticks at one point. 1,300. Well, right now the weekly gap's 187 points, the daily's 255. So boy, did they give back a lot. Volume, 160 million, excellent volume. A lot of it, we did tremendous volume, almost 19 million in M period. Now, look at this on the triple Qs. Couple of things. Triple Qs never took out their 4-month high. Never took out their all-time high or their pre-market all-time high. They have an outside day down. They took out Friday's high and closed below Friday's low. So not only didn't they take out their monthly 4-month balance high, we have an outside day down. Pretty bearish. For us, we take out a 4-month balance high, yet close inside of it firmly, right? 358.75 was the previous all-time high and the 4-month balance high. We got it to 364.38, yet we close at 354.62. So we're $4 inside of that monthly balance high. Now, it is a monthly balance, so one day does not make a market. However, that's kind of poor on their part. Now, another thing I just realized, we came out of an inside month. The inside month was 354.02, I believe. Our low in the day is 354.06. So we got right down to the inside month, last month's high, and came out of it. In fact, let me make sure. I just want to look real quick what that high was. I'm sorry, it was 354.02. We got down to 354.06. You talk about mechanical. So like I said this morning, is this long-term buyers? Well, a long-term buyer is going to walk away after the opening? We literally opened, got above it, got below it, and never saw it again. We were 7 for 7 wide, only got 8 wide. A long-term buyer is going to just walk away like that and let this come in $10? I'm going to say no. So again, short-term players, and a lot of these guys got really punched in the face, these longs, if that's the case, as we came in over $10 from the day's high to the day's low, stopped dead right above last month's high, so the inside month up is holding. Again, it's a monthly, so it really doesn't matter if we come back in and out of it. It depends on the end of the month how we finish. Today is November 9th. However, don't like the fact that we took out the 4-month balance high and came in by $4. As far as my day, I had a good day. Nothing spectacular. I never would have expected this. In fact, I had a long and L period that I made some money on, gave back some later on one small position. But man, I knew not to get involved in M period on the long side. But again, if I knew we were going to do this, obviously I could say, well, yeah, I should have shorted it, considering we had over a $5 range in M period. But I did nothing in A or B period. I told you I wasn't going to do anything. But even if I wanted to do something, most of these things were down. Tastyworks was disconnecting. I saw people having trouble with Schwab. So a couple of platforms, a lot of platforms are having issues. I did not do anything. Now, I traded Friday's expiration, and I will continue to trade Fridays the rest of this week. Traded Friday's expirations all day. I took longs in both C and D period, 358 calls that I made money on. I had very good trade location, even though we one time frame down. I had very good trade location against them and made money on scalps on the 358 calls in C and D. Also in E period, I did the 358 calls. I didn't do my first short until G and H. At the time, it was half back in G. In H, I said, well, maybe this is the afternoon rally high. And boy, did I nail it. I didn't hold it that long at all, but boy, was I right in H period. Should have taken a short again an I against H's high to use that because I could have rode that down pretty good. But those were the 365 puts in G and H, which worked out. And then I took longs again in J and in L, looking, especially once L took out K's high, I thought for sure we'd be able to get back and get get 9 wide. Never happened. I made money on them, the 358 calls again. So I did 358 calls all day, 365 puts, Friday expiration. Made money on all of them except one in L period, one small 10 lot that I lost money on. Other than that, had a pretty good day. Nothing spectacular. I was playing with lots of 5, 10s. I think I got big. I took a couple of 20s and at one point a 30 call play in L period. But that was the largest I was and was not holding on to either side for very long. Did I miss a short play in M? Obviously. But again, if I'm going to sit here and tell you I didn't expect this, well, then it'd be foolish for me to say, well, I didn't expect this, but I still shorted it. So I didn't, and I watched it. No big deal. Tomorrow's another day, and I had a good day. Destinations are incredibly far and wide apart. So for the upside, we have both a price probe and a price spike. We spiked when we took out D's low and never really got back into it. We probed when M took out L's low. So L's low on the upside is our first upside destination of 358.06. We closed at 354.56. So M period could be a wild ride tomorrow if we open inside of it. If we don't get back inside L's range or D's range, nothing's changed. I'll look for nothing but shorts tomorrow. 358.06 is the price probe, and then D 358.67 is the price spike. Now, I'm not writing down 8 wide, but again, there's something that if we do get accepted back inside of D's range, we should trade at. Then we have today's high of 364.38, which is our all-time high, and then 366.77, which is my pre-market all-time high. That's over that's $3.49 higher than today's all-time high. And that happened not only here, but in the Russell, in the IWM, and Q's never saw their all-time high. And don't forget, their all-time high is also in the pre-market from back on September 2nd. For our downside, we have today's low of 354.06 and then filling a weekly gap at 352.19, 187-point gap. And then again, today's low, 354.06, and filling the daily gap at 351.51, a 255-point daily gap. And then below that, we have 350.90, which was the price probe, right, from Friday. Look how silly this looks. I'm in 17-tick increments, but I have to keep all this in here. So that's the price probe, E's high from Friday. And then we have 350.06, which was 11 wide from Friday. And then 349.21, afternoon pullback low, also from Friday. And now let's go to the charts. So here's our monthly chart. We come out of a 4-month balance, explode out of it, only to close inside of it. Again, one day does not make a market, and also it's a monthly. Would I be concerned as a buyer? Not necessarily right away, but as the month goes on, if we firmly get accepted inside of September's range, and more importantly, inside of last month's range, well, then that would mean the inside month up failed, and now we have to worry, because what's the ultimate destination when you look above a previous balance high? The other end of the balance. I'm not saying that's happening, not after one day, but this is something we certainly need to keep an eye on, and that is September's monthly high and last month's high. And last month's high right now is a real important one, because that's the inside month up. Weekly. I'm calling it up because we still have the weekly gap. Unlike the monthly, there was no gap, and I'm calling that balance still. Weekly, I'm calling up, even though we close inside of here. The gap is my main focus. If we hold the gap, well, then again, we could start going up. We fill the gap, well, now you're accepted back inside possibly last month's range and the inside month up failed. Incredible how we got down to within 4 cents of it in M period. And then the daily came out of a 2-day balance to the upside, exploded, made all-time highs, but that's an ugly candle, my friends. 163 million already. So we are cranking out volume, but a lot of that volume is being done right now trying to close these gaps. That's something to keep an eye on. So I'm calling the daily up also. And don't forget, we have gaps all over. We have today's gap. Then we have those other 2 gaps. There's certainly a lot of gaps all over the place that still need to be filled. Interesting day. Kind of a historic day. I don't think I've ever seen a gap of that magnitude on the upside. And almost as impressive is almost taking the whole gap back. I hope you had a great day trading. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.